Veronika, nice to have you on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Hi, Adam. Thank you for having me on. How are you
No,
doing?
you're very welcome. Yeah, I'm doing really good, thank you. Really good.
Awesome.
Um, I think we've got some good topics that we kind of want to talk about because you mentioned like yesterday, like lucid dreaming, which
Yeah, lucid
seems
dreaming
really
is amazing.
interesting.
Yes, yes. There are many things which I got interested in the past couple of years. It's been a
Yeah,
journey, of course, to get to it. And it's been amazing journey, not an easy journey, of course, because to get to a certain understanding, to certain levels, you really have to that's the most painful part. You really have to face yourself. You have to face your demons
mm,
that you were like trying to run away from. You were like negating all your life. So
yeah,
basically, it takes a lot to get to certain topics to be part of your life, to be part of your personality. But yeah, like lucid dreaming is one of it.
mm.
It's really life changing, at least for me.
Yeah. I suppose like with that, it's almost like some kind of like I know you're asleep, but you have so lucid dreaming is like you're asleep but you have is the almost conscious ability to control how your dreams pan out. Is that right?
Definitely, yes. Have you seen the movie Inception?
Yeah.
So basically, it's like when I saw the movie, I was crying from the beginning to the end because I was like, finally, somebody understood what it is.
Mm.
Like, uh, you are really, you are sleeping and then you are in a dream and you become conscious in the dream. That's
Mm.
number one step, but then you have to be conscious enough to realize that you can change the dream you are in. And that's basically where the fun happens.
Mm.
Like you can alter the results. You are able to basically think about something and you create it.
Mm.
So it's like, I don't know, I remember one dream I was chased by some guys with rifles and whatever. And then I was like, oh my God, I would need some kind of like machine gun right now. I've never held a gun in
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
my hand in my life. So I just in the pocket, I just reached in my pocket and I just pulled out this huge AK, whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm. Mm.
And it just happens like this. Or you can just think, let's make them disappear, and they just disappear like that. But
Mm.
it's really about really becoming conscious in the dream and to act actively in the dream. So
Mm.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, I think dreams are pretty powerful, and I think like when you have dreams, sometimes your current situation in life or certain life experiences can sometimes, or how you feel in yourself, can kind of be represented in the dream.
That's correct. I really believe it. And moreover, the dream is like a training field for the real life, or what we call the reality. For
Yeah.
me, the reality is like, excuse me, it's like more in the dream. And what we are living during the like waking hours, it's more
Mm.
like boring for me because you are just faced with whatever is around you, but you cannot change it much. However, in the
Yeah.
dream, you can really have
Yeah.
the real fun.
Yeah.
So, what I also mean is that in a dream, you can practice how to face certain situations in a real
Mm.
life. That's
Mm.
what I really love about it. Like, I faced my fears, and
Mm.
you get to practice how to face it in a dream.
Mm. Mm.
I have to say, it takes a lot of mental energy.
Yeah.
So, like, I was very actively lucid dreaming, mostly when I was vegan. I don't come from a vegan family at all. I was never vegan in my life. I eat like everything and I didn't eat healthy or anything. But basically, then one year it really switched. And I was like, let's try to be vegan and gluten free. And let's try to go on some detoxes. So I took all those herbal tinctures and
Mm.
I started like reading on detoxifying liver and kidneys and heart and blood and brain and this and that. I'm just like, okay, why not? Like, let's try. And then I realized that the body kicks in by itself.
Mm.
Like I had no idea about any lucid dreaming. I had no idea about intuition, how it works, what to do, how to do. the body simply knows if we
Mm.
give it the right fuel, if we detox from the garbage and stuff like that. So
Mm.
I really believe like human body is a perfect computer,
Yeah.
and it's just so intelligent, and the antennas are so powerful
Mm.
if they are tuned to the right frequencies.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think like we mentioning this yesterday when we briefly chat was like in terms of energy as well, and like how the universe works, and how you can connect to people at certain times. And
Yes,
I reached out to you for like podcasts to do a podcast, and you was kind of thinking about doing a podcast around similar time, and
absolutely. Yeah.
it's pretty amazing. I think like there's much more beyond our understanding, of how energy works and our bodies and our minds. Yeah, like you said, like with energy, like your body kind of knows. It's like if you eat something that isn't really good for you, your body, you feel it, it knows. Or if you
Yes.
go for a walk, or if you go for a run, it's just this connection to that. And I
Yes,
think,
that's
like you said,
correct.
when with your diet as well, your diet's going to affect the way you feel, how you think. So it's all aligned. It's all kind of aligned, isn't it?
It totally is, yes. So I really think that like every organ in the body is kind of like a small brain, like a
Mm,
small antenna. If you think about the brain as as antenna, you get onto certain frequencies. So you choose the frequencies with your mind. Like you can,
mm,
like when you tune the radio. So it's really up to you what you tune into, and that's why really controlling the thoughts and focus and where your energy flows. It's like really
mm,
crucial. And then after brain, I really think that body organs are each their own antenna, their own brain.
mm.
So all these detoxes and the food that we put in the body and stuff, I really think it has a huge effect on all these like abilities, let's call it abilities. Because really, I would never believe it, but after being clean for a year,
Mm.
it really kicks in by itself.
Yeah.
So all these detoxes like a liver and kidneys and stuff and all those drops, I believe it really works. I mean, I don't have to believe it. It does work. It worked for
Mm.
me. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
really like, yeah.
No, I think like you said, it's always good to, look after your body and your mind and to feed it the nutrients that it kind of needs, isn't it? It's like if I don't drink enough water, I feel like crap.
Yes,
So my
certainly.
body, yeah, my body knows if, sometimes I do eat things that probably aren't good for me, but it's that balance, isn't it? If you do too much of something, you know,
Certainly. Hmm.
it's not too good.
Yeah. And then basically really then when I go out, I don't know, to a restaurant or whatever, and I know if I take, I don't know, the bread basket, I know that I will not
Mm,
feel good afterwards. So, there is always this fine line between temptation and knowing that you are really making like a conscious choice because you know what it's gonna do to you. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I know what's gonna do to me, but I will like have
mm,
a piece of bread and this and that. And
mm.
the other time I say, you know what, it's not worth it. So then you really have this like conscious relationship with your body. And once you know your body, it's basically great. Like
Mm,
I don't know, pizza with pepperoni and ham and stuff. I cannot even imagine eating it ever again in my life.
mm.
So because I know that it really pulls me down so much. It takes so
Yeah.
much of my energy. And yeah, basically that's the point. That's basically you realize how valuable your energy is. Yeah, that's
Mm,
actually that's actually what I realized. Yeah. So like I really stopped giving attention to things which have no value for me, no meaning for me. I started wasting my energy and my time on like trying to change things which I cannot change and focus on the
yeah.
things which I actually can actively change.
Mm,
And then you really realize the power of now. Now is the only time that exists. Now is the only time, the now, when
yeah.
you can actually like consciously change things. So it's like, I don't know, There is no present, there is no there is no past, there is no future, there is only now. That's basically
Mm.
the only, it's like a cursor on the timeline, which
Yeah.
is only now. So that's basically when we can change anything we want at any given time.
Mm.
Yeah, and I have to say that, of course, changing things about ourselves is at hand. It's the easiest part, rather than, I don't know, trying to change
Mm.
the world, changing the other people, changing, it's
Yeah.
totally pointless. Yeah, because it's like,
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying, and I think like we can change ourselves, and the like you said, we're in the present moment right now, and right now the only things happening are in the present moment right now. And like other people and how they think and the things going on around us, we can't always change that. And I found in relationships sometimes, if someone's going to change, it has to be for them. And people can't.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Some people do change for other people, but deep down, it has to be for them because that's. Do you know what I mean? It's we
yeah,
we're in charge of ourselves. It's we can't control the things that are happening around us, like coronavirus or the economy. That's just going by itself. And if you focus, like you said, on the things that you can control, you're going to be more present, and you're not going to probably be as anxious.
certainly, absolutely. That's it. And like, really, in the relationships, oh my God, it's like such a big topic for me. Like, really, people who are in relationships trying to change the other person. I'm like, why would you wanna do that?
Mm.
Like, think about how difficult it is to change ourselves.
Yeah.
How much we struggle with ourselves. Like, what's your business trying to change the other person? So
Mm.
yeah, relationships are really like a big thing for me, because even girls come to me for advice. It's like how to find a guy and this and that, and how to act to attract the guy that they want. I was like, just don't act. Like, why would you want to act in a way to attract somebody, or yeah. So
Yeah. I think there's that kind of how can I put it? That kind of like norm. There's people are trying to like I think conform to be to try and be a certain way to attract, like I said, a
yeah,
relationship or a
yeah,
job. There is no like normal way to be that. 'Cause I think a lot of people are always striving to be like someone they see in the media or someone like their friend might have a partner and a house. They people comparing themselves, I think, too much. And like you said, I think you just need to be yourself. And I think
mm-hmm.
with relationships, people have always said to me, don't try too hard. Just it
I
will find
guess.
you. People say it will find you. Don't try too hard. Be yourself. Things like that. It's. I mean,
And it's
it's.
all true. It's all true.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, yeah. Like, when the people say other way, like how to dress for success, how to act as being like desirable, and to have all the qualities and whatever, and yeah.
Mm,
So it's like really nonsense. And I'm really like surprised that like gorgeous girls still struggle with this, with understanding this. And like you're perfect the way you are for the person you need to meet. So
yeah. And I think
really.
if you meet somebody, people should accept you for who you are. They shouldn't be
Yeah,
trying to mold you to try and fit in with their ego or how they want to appear in society. I think that's kind of like what happens a lot. And I think
yeah.
with social media, I mean, as well, people always look at social media, and it's so easy. You can be on your feed and you can compare yourself or think to yourself, "Oh, I haven't got what they've got, or I'm not as good as that."
Oh my
And
God,
that,
you know what? I don't have this, so I don't even like understand this. Like,
mm,
I don't, like, Kim Kardashian can have those, I don't even know how many millions followers. I just don't get it. So I don't even like get a concept, That's the problem with me. Like, I don't even get a concept. So
yeah,
yeah, so when I talk with people, they're like, "Oh my God, this is so true." I'm like, what else are you doing, right? Like, how else does it
mm,
work? Like, it cannot work in
mm,
any other way than to be authentic yourself and just
yeah,
chill, focus on
yeah,
what you can focus on, change what you can change about yourself, enjoy
mm,
your life and the vibes. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
love your quote. Your vibes attract your tribe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's on WhatsApp, and I just copied it on my TikTok and also on my Instagram. So thank you, Adam. I
No,
love it.
no,
So yeah,
yeah. No, you're welcome. It's
love it. Yes, it's so true. It's so true.
yeah. No, it's definitely true, and I'm happy that you like it, resonate with it, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think like when people do like your vibe attracts your tribe, when you connect with people who are very similar to yourself on the same wavelength, it kind of seems natural, feels natural, and kind of flows. And I think that's kind of like what I know. Like we need to work and do certain jobs and things, but if you can find something where you're doing something that you love and you're on that same wavelength with other people who enjoy it as well,
Yes.
that's when it kind of flows. You're in flow of like life, and I think if you're around certain people who are negative or aren't really on that same vibe, it just seems like you're tripping over your own feet sometimes. But
Absolutely.
but everyone's different, and we're not going to get on with everyone, are we? And we're not always going to like certain things, but it's kind of how you just look after yourself, I think, and how you manage all that.
I believe so as well. Like really, I realized how important it is to find your people and how to create the environment that you are in. You know, you really have to create your environment. You have to be really the influence for your
Mm,
living space. Because if you are dragged through life, if you are just dragged by the outer circumstances, it's really
mm,
nonsense. Because there's like so much negativity, there is so much like people who are trying to put you down, so much like comparison, so much peer pressure. Then there's this corona thing, there is politics, there is economy. It's been there always since the ancient times. I
mm.
mean, it's been always. So like really,
Yeah.
again, like you really have to be conscious of what's actually going on, and you have to be
Mm,
really conscious of how to respond to it and how to function within it. That's the matrix we live in, and we cannot change the matrix that much.
mm.
What we can do in this life, I believe, is like to navigate it wisely, to navigate
Mm.
the matrix wisely. That's what we can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, and really like to step up our game. That's what this life is about.
Mm.
To really improve, and the only comparison worthy is comparing yourself to yourself of yesterday. Just really
Yeah.
just to compare your progress of yesterday to your progress of today, and strive to be better tomorrow. That's really the only comparison that matters. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, and that's
Yeah.
just so liberating when you realize this.
Mm.
It's liberating. So I just really wish that like people tap into this and they realize this, and they just stop overstressing and being anxious, and like being worried about the health, being worried about the family. I mean, I know it's normal, it's
Mm.
normal to be worried about those things, but like don't overdo it, and like step away from the picture and put
Mm.
it in perspective. That's what
Yeah.
I think. Like we really need like more perspective.
Yeah. No, I think they're really good points, and I totally agree with what you said. And I think like a lot of the time, what you said is that people are reacting. They're reacting to what's going on around them, and they might be a little bit stuck, or they might have certain habits, which they're kind of rooted in bad habits, or addicted to certain things which aren't really good for them, but they're just kind of going around on that hamster wheel. And I
Yes.
think if you like tune into yourself that bit, or sometimes, I mean, it sounds really bad, but sometimes certain things have to happen to people for them to realize, to take a step back. It's
Absolutely. I think the real growth happens when the people are in total shit. I don't have any better
mm,
word. So
mm,
yeah, I really think that like really when you think that you cannot go any lower, that's basically where you start growing, and that's basically the time where there are basically two kind of people: the people who become like really desperate, depressed, alcoholics, and whatever, or the people
mm,
who use it as opportunity. And I would really wish that people see it as an opportunity. Because like when you are in a situation where you have nothing to lose, you have nothing to lose,
Yeah.
like seize it. Like really, what do you have to lose? Nothing. So just move on and just grow from it. Analyze it, analyze yourself. Again, we are back there. But it's really point that people don't have energy for it, they don't have time for it, they don't want to put the effort in it. Of course it's easy to like slack on these things, but until this is dealt with, until you yourself and your mirror is dealt with, basically you cannot move anywhere, unfortunately. So
No, I agree. I think that's a really good point what you said. And I think like
it's very hard.
I mean, I think like when things are hard and bad certain times, it kind of you build you build resilience through that, and you become stronger and you gain momentum, and you kind of know that place, and it's like you either become a victim of that situation or you're going to say, well, how am I going to use this? What am I going to do about this?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
I've really become, sorry, go ahead.
no, it's fine.
I've just become allergic to two things. I hate when people say, "Oh my God, I'm scared. I'm scared of." I'm like, "Oh my God, like don't waste my." I don't have time for people who are scared of like everything. Really, the fear is such a. I can't even like really. I'm like so much beyond all these things, Like people are really so fearful, and I believe it. I don't know. It might stem from some kind of self-preservation instinct or fear of death, I think. I mean, death is like such a bad word in the society. And actually, it's like part of life, right? When you think about it. So, yeah, it's like, I feel like, but this is like really very, very like a different topic. But
No, it's
until
fine.
people are confronted with a death, an issue of death, and fear of death, until then there is really going to be this anxiety, fearfulness and stuff like that. So I really think so.
No, I agree. I think it's our relationship with that, isn't it? I think in some cultures and traditions, I don't know what country it is. I saw one country in like Africa somewhere, and when there's a funeral, they like have a party, and they completely different outlook to it. And
Yes.
I think the Western side is very depressing. Like especially in England and things like that. It's very morbid. I think it's your relationship with it, and I think, like you said, if you had certain experiences with it, I think it's quite a personal thing, isn't it, to people, how you go about that. But I think
It is, yeah.
it makes you. I think sometimes if you think about it, it makes you kind of think about how you want to live your life. So I mean, like you said, it is part of life, but I think it can really give you like a bit of space to really think about it, because it's almost like it kind of motivates you to live your life and be happy and make the most of things. It's how I think it's how you see it and how you flip it.
I know, yeah, definitely, absolutely, yeah. And I really think that in the West, it's a lot about religion, where our like relationship to death stems from. So I think that we have like a lot of healing to do as a society, as a Western culture, So yeah, it's not an easy topic at all.
Yeah.
But I have to talk about death with people. They're like, "What?" I'm like, yeah, because I really think that until you understand what death is, you cannot understand what life is, and what you're actually doing in this life, and what is this life for, and so stuff like that. I believe in reincarnation, so again, I don't have to like believe it. I don't believe anything. I just
Yeah.
once you touch certain things, you don't have to believe it. So
No, I believe in that as well. I believe that we do come back, and I'm not religious at all, but I'm quite spiritual, and I said that
yes, certainly.
I can resonate with certain things. Like I've almost met certain people before, like a bit like you know, when you meet like a soulmate or someone you really click with, it's almost like you met them before. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
really, you can't really explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And actually, people say it. It's like, it feels like I know you for ages.
mm,
And it feels like I met you before. And since it feels like, like we've been friends since ever. Like,
mm,
hello, you say it.
mm,
So, like, what's the big deal, Just you
yeah,
say it. So, yeah.
no, it is
It's
fascinating. I
funny,
mean,
right? Isn't it? Yeah. Like, people
yeah,
never think about it this way, but that's what it is.
it is really interesting. I think as well, like when you have that, like we've been talking to for half an hour now, and
No
if
way.
if
I thought
if there,
I thought that we can like never make it. Like
yeah,
1 hour. I'm like, no, I cannot do one
yeah,
hour. Like
but
nothing to
but
talk about.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like that, you know, when you connect with someone on the same wavelength or you feel like you've met, it can kind of go very quick, like it has, you
I
know,
kind of
this.
noticed. Wow. Yes, I got it. Yeah.
Um, but no, it is fascinating.
So like up to you. I'm fine talking if you are.
Yeah, no, no, same. Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
Cool. Cool.
But like you mentioned as well, like books. We talk about books. Like favorite books that you would like to
Yeah,
read or
sure,
have.
sure, sure. So basically, I have a friend of mine. She's like raw vegan uh, guru, not guru, but she's
Yeah,
like she likes it a lot. And right now she actually left back to my country. I'm from the Czech Republic, and she left me a bunch of books that she's not bringing back to the Czech Republic. They're oftentimes in Czech, but anyway, it's all like
yeah,
about raw and sprouting and stuff. So
nice.
yeah, I am not like vegan. I'm not vegetarian. I've never been. I really don't label myself as such, but I tend to be that way. Like if I have a choice, like in a store, if there is like a sandwich with pastrami in it or whatever, or if there is like avocado guacamole, I go for guac. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
really, once you're tuned into your body, it's
mm,
just amazing. Like really, it's really better to starve for 2 hours rather than going to McDonald's. Like, oh
mm.
my God, I absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
I cannot like imagine because, yeah, I know what McDonald's, yeah, so I just can't.
because you're based in New York at the minute,
Yeah.
and I remember when I went to New York with my friend for a week. Um, like it's getting like that way in the United Kingdom as well. But like in America, like in New York, there's like I remember we went to like 7 or 8 different Starbucks, and then there were like McDonald's. You got McDonald's. There's something hop IHOP. There's like IHOP,
Oh,
McDonald's.
yeah, yeah, right.
Um, it's like, you know, every corner. So it's like, I think
Yeah, there's the Chipotle, there is the, I don't know. I don't even
Wendy's.
know, man. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. I really
but
don't see it, like at a certain point, you just don't see those things anymore.
mm,
So yeah, but I get you. Yeah, it's like everywhere, And really, I realized like people are like, oh my God, I'm hungry. Let's eat something. Or not even I'm hungry. Just let's eat. I'm like, man, you can just meet for a walk. You can just walk and talk. Just grab a coffee somewhere, or just buy a
yeah,
bottle of water. Like what's the big deal? It's like, no, let's go sit somewhere. It's really this feeding consumerism culture. Like really everybody just consuming, and it's like you go to eat, like, are you really hungry, or are you just trying to fill up some vacuum in you, or just some
mm,
boredom and stuff. So really, and also it's like so funny, like people are scared that when they are hungry for half an hour,
mm,
they're gonna die. I'm like, listen, nobody died from being hungry for even like 2 hours, so like don't
yeah,
worry. They're like, oh, got a point. Like really, people are so much used to, like
mm,
continuously filling themselves with some kind of either food or everything which is coming, from your
mm,
phone, from the computer, from everywhere.
mm,
Like really, we're like bombarded with all these things, and we're
mm.
really lost in it. So we really have to kind of like simplify.
Yeah. No, that's it. And I think it's really good that you kind of have that in place. And I think that's kind of
Working
where
on it,
it's,
but yeah.
yeah. And I think, like, you know, it's constant. It's a constant process. Like, you know, we kind of, like you said, have to be quite self-disciplined, isn't it? At the end of the day, you have to be self-disciplined in what you look at, what you focus on, what you eat, and trying to be mindful about what you eat, how that's going to make you feel. you know, in your time, and you know, people get addicted. It's an addiction really when it comes to like fast food. People can kind of get caught up in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think if I don't feel if I don't feel okay, I can probably go and eat chocolate. That's my go-to sometimes,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
or you know, a few beers, and I don't really need that. But
Yeah.
sometimes if we feel like in a certain emotional state, we take something because that's going to change that emotional state.
Yeah, you've like this automatic triggers, you know,
Mm,
and we have to basically fight with those, you know. Oh man,
mm,
like yesterday I had, what did I have yesterday? But I know that oh yeah, it was this protein bar. It was like a huge protein bar, like 100 grams. I'm like, oh my
mm,
God. And then you know it's like a million calories and whatever, you know. So really, and then you really tend to eat it all, right?
yeah.
But then it's really important to like stop and say, hey, how do I feel actually? So I just wrapped it up. It's really about that
Mm,
split of a second when you really have to catch yourself and
mm,
say, what am I actually doing? I'm actually fine. So just
yeah.
put half for the later or whatever you want, you know. So you
Mm,
can really apply this to anything. Like waking up to in the morning, you know, I'm like, oh man, I'm so tired. I can still stay in the bed, you know.
yeah.
And then I look at my phone. I have this motivational video come in, you know, on YouTube, and it just popped up. So I just listen to it, and it just said something which I need to hear. So I just, okay, one, two, three, and let's get out of the bed, you know. So really, it's
Mm,
about that power of now again. It's again the power
mm,
of now. That really now you have to catch yourself, and now
mm,
is the moment when you can actually alter your future. So
yeah.
I know it's like so difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know we have to kind of practice, you know. I believe
Yeah.
it's a muscle, like
Mm,
you know, discipline is a muscle. So
yeah.
as we can train the muscle, we can train the self-discipline, and then it becomes easier over time. Like
Mm,
it really becomes easier because you get used to that. It becomes
mm,
your habit, and it becomes easier. So
yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. I think that's really, I really resonate with what you said, and I think like there's a quote that a few people have had on my podcast. They're like in the military, and they say, you know, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable,
Kinda, yes.
and
Yeah.
then you know, over time, those things that were hard become easier because
Yes.
you know, it's a bit like working out. If you work out and do, I don't know, 40 press ups or something, or you lift the weight, you don't do it for a week and then you go back to it, your muscles remember that. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's, I think, like you said,
Definitely.
that comes down to anything, whether that's podcasting like this, whether that's, you know, talking to somebody. People always say, I'm not good at this. And it's like, okay, well, how many times have you tried?
Yeah.
It just,
Once, twice, three times. Okay, try again. Okay, try
yeah.
again, you know? Yeah.
Mm,
It's like never like enough times, you know? You simply have to make it or not. Like that's the choice, you know? So
mm,
you either wanna make it or you don't wanna make it. If you wanna make it, you will
mm,
try another time. So
yeah.
I believe that's what it is, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's it.
And it's just like so fun that we are talking actually because I was just really thinking about that I have to do something because I have people coming to me for these kind of talks, and
Mm,
I am like I would love to have like bigger impact and stuff, but then I
mm,
have my accent and I've never done it before and stuff, and they're like, are you crazy, just try. And here
mm,
you are, you know, with this thing, and you're like, can we talk for like 20 minutes? I'm like, 20 minutes, like
yeah.
I have no idea what to talk about for like, let's try 10 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, then it simply flows. So I believe, yeah, we have to keep trying new things, what we feel
Yeah.
good for us. Yeah.
No, I
It's
agree.
fun,
And I think
actually.
like,
It's fun. Thank you
yeah,
again.
no, you're welcome. And I mean, this is what like it's all about. I mean, I didn't do podcasting. I wanted to do a podcast for like 2 years. And I had the idea about it and I was like, people are gonna think this about me, you know, what are they gonna think? Um, you know, lots of irrational thoughts.
Got
So
it.
I didn't do it for 2 years and I started and yeah, you know, I do it for my car. I don't have an expensive microphone that costs £200 or anything. And you know, once you jump into that unknown, then you just kind of you can discover new things. And like you said, like you were saying that, your accent and things like that. I mean, it doesn't matter, like what your accent is. I know people who've done podcasts and they're from different parts of the world and they have accents. And
That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. And I also like, I believe like everybody has his audience. So it's kind of, I'm like,
yeah,
okay, cool. Like if everybody has an audience, fine. Like some kind of niche audience. I'm like, cool, cool. So yeah.
yeah,
But yeah,
no,
it's kind of
no,
liberating when you think about it. But
yeah,
yeah, it's like we have to put things in perspective and just chill and just do.
mm, mm, mm,
That's always the first thing. Like you have all those ideas, you have all those plans and whatever,
mm,
but until you actually start doing it,
yeah,
like really, it's like like me comparing myself to, I don't know, Gary V. Okay, it's like
yeah,
I'm comparing myself to somebody who is like a million light years ahead of me. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So it's like, oh, I can never be like that. I can never be as impactful as he is. I can never be so wise as he is and stuff. But then, like, hey, like he's really million light years ahead. So
mm,
just take the first step and just to start somewhere, right? So yeah.
yeah. No, that's it. I mean, I like Gary Vee, and I look at other people
Mm.
as well. And like you said, it can appear quite daunting if you look at where you currently are and where they are. But when you look at it, um, they've just earlier in the process, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah. Sounds like
Um,
Gary.
yeah, yeah,
Sounds like Gary to me. Yeah, I know. I'm
yeah,
totally
yeah.
joking. It's him. I know. Yeah.
And I think he said that quote what I just said. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, I had a podcast with this guy called Glenn Lundy, and he talked about, remember Kobe Bryant,
Oh yeah. Sure.
basket, basketball player. Um, when he was alive, he to cut a long story short, he was saying that he analyzed the training of himself and the other players, and he broke down the hours that they train and when they train, and he realized if he needs to be better than that person, he needs to be putting in this amount of training at this amount of time. So he was doing double or triple what everyone else is doing, getting up earlier at whatever time, and then he was that much ahead of everyone else. They just couldn't catch up with him because he's.
Wow.
So I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's like one example. That's like you just got to start, really, haven't you? You just got to just show up. Like we showed up
Yes.
for this.
Yes, I know.
So
I still can't believe we are doing this, but yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yes. It's amazing. So really, like, thank you for kicking my butt. Really doing
no,
this.
no,
Like
no,
seriously, like much appreciated. Like, man, you've no idea. Seriously. Yeah. I
no,
just,
no. You're welcome.
like crossed so many timelines right now doing this. So yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
thank
No,
you.
no, you're welcome. And I mean, like you said, I spoke to you yesterday, and you said you never done it, and I think when you do like new things, it can be quite like nerve-wracking, uncomfortable.
It is.
Um, but like you sometimes you just go through the motions. Like even I've had people on my podcast who are quite high-profile people, and sometimes I feel nervous. So, but I think if you don't feel nervous or you don't feel something, then it shows you don't care, or you just do you know what I mean? You kind of use that to propel you forward, you know.
I guess, yeah. And also, really, I talk about things which I love to talk about, which
Yeah,
really light me up. So it's like natural for me. So yeah, as long
yeah,
as somebody wants to listen to it, I am okay with talking about it. That's I
yeah,
guess. I think that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
just put what resonates with you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So,
Where can people find you on social media and things like that?
oh my God, they can find me in New York.
Yeah,
I am NYC Rusalka. It's NYC RUSALKA.
yeah.
Yeah, something
I
like
can
that.
I,
Yes.
so I can put it in the bio for you as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thank
Oh,
you. Thank you.
no, no, you're welcome. But I mean, is there anything else you'd like to say or talk about before
Like the Pope does Urbi et Orbi at Easter from Vatican. You know, Urbi and Orbi of Pope.
Yeah.
It's like to the city and to the world, like a message, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any message. Just
No,
people just should really like chill, take a step back, you know, and tune into themselves and simplify, because life is really simple, I think.
Yeah.
You know, like really, we are all looking for the same things. It's like just love, to have somebody to love, somebody, you know, who loves us, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but again, the first thing is to love ourselves, because again, like look for the love outside. It can happen, but you really have to start from yourself. You really don't want to be dependent on the love from outside. And actually, I think that's a really whole new topic for the relationships. Like really these people, really guys or the girls, really looking for partner to fill up something that they basically have to provide to themselves by themselves, you know. So yeah, it's
No,
a
I agree.
lot. It's a lot. Really, life in a way is not easy. It's really, yeah, it's not easy because we have to really work on ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, so we're like trying to find all those excuses to avoid it, because it's really hard work and it's painful and it's painful. But until we do it, until we go through it, we can't step up, we cannot move on. So yeah, I feel like people should like tune in more, tune in, shut off the outside stimuli and just be with themselves and try to work on things they can change and not worry about the things we cannot change. So
Yeah. No, I think that's really powerful what you said. And I think, you know, I really resonate with what you said. And I think, you know, a lot of people listening to this will take a lot from what you've said. Just, you know,
oh
not
my god,
just
thank you.
then, but in the whole podcast. 'Cause I mean, that's kind of like the key to relationships, I find. You know, like you have to love yourself to love someone else, and you have to get to know yourself. Because if you're going into a relationship where you don't love yourself, or you don't really know yourself, it's gonna affect the other person, isn't it? So it's powerful. You know, it's definitely, you know, a life process, isn't it? We're all on
It
our own
is.
journey, or on our own journey.
Yes. And the only responsibility we have in this life is to take care of ourselves and to become better versions of ourselves. There is like, okay, I get it, like people have the partners, they have families, they have whatever, they have kids and whatever. But I really believe that even like the mothers who would die for their children, the mothers still should first of all take care of themselves. You know, like really all these mothers were like giving away themselves to the families and whatever. And then really, I mean, imagine they divorce and basically their life is a wreck because they have nothing to, you know, stand on, because there is not the personality. They cannot really rely on themselves because there was always like somebody else, you know, like giving away too much and they didn't give enough to themselves. So it's kind of really like, even like really caring, this over caring and stuff is kind of excuse, I believe. It's like escape mechanism to distract yourself from your own problems and from your own personal issues. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to solve everybody around you just to escape solving yourself. So yeah.
I think I've been guilty of doing that in the past. Trying to
What
help.
is that?
I said I think I've been guilty probably that in the past, trying to help you know, everyone
Oh
else.
yeah,
Sometimes, you know,
we've all been. Yeah, chill,
we
man.
can
We're
all do
fine.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, right?
But no, it's true. We, you know, like you said, it's being aware of what it is that we're doing and coming back to ourselves. And I think through that as well, you have to come back to yourself to then look after your energy and improve yourself. You know, so it's definitely that yin and yang.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like the other day, I was talking with a friend of mine, and he's like, bothered by all this, how New York is going, how it's going bad, and stores closing, and it's dirty, and homeless everywhere, and whatnot. I'm like, listen, you really have to. I mean, I was that way as well. Like, you really see, because I'm European, and New York is really a little bit different for us Europeans. And I really saw a lot of negative things. Just you can just complain about anything here, you know, like you overpay for standard of living that in Europe you would have like totally different like lifestyle. Anyway, whatever. So then you really realize how valuable your energy is and what you wanna give your energy to, you know. So I'm like, listen, I don't see anymore these homeless. I don't see the dirt anymore. I just don't see it, you know. Like when I have money, I give it to the homeless. That's fine. I don't mind. I actually like it because it's there's sometimes really like cool people. Like it's really fun actually. But what I want to say, like really, we have to take care of where we are directing our energy to, because our time and our energy is like super valuable. And again, until we realize this, you know, then you really like realize like people spend hours in front of the TV. I'm like, what? Like I turned off TV 10 years ago, and 11 actually, and I've never turned it back on. And like my life is amazing. I just read like hundreds of books. I listened hours and hours of podcasts and whatever. So I'm like, wow, what is it actually like to spend hours in front of the TV and watch the news? Like, I cannot even imagine watching the news anymore. Like, no, I just value myself so much. I just really can't watch the news anymore, you know? Like, I really don't want to have my vibe disturbed. So,
No,
yeah.
no, I agree. I completely agree with you. And I think like we have to be very like careful what we look at, what we consume. I couldn't be. I mean, each to their own. But like I said, I couldn't be one of those people who sit down, watch the news and day in day out. And the news, there's like if I ever see the news on television or on the internet, I'm like, there's far more things happening than what's just being shown. And
Absolutely.
it's people. The thing is, the news is very powerful because it can control and influence the way people think and what they do.
It does. That's the problem. Yeah.
But we could talk about that for hours. But
I know.
but yeah, I mean, like you said, it's nice that you don't see homeless people in a negative manner, because I think there's a very, very big stigma around homeless people and things happening, especially in New York. When I went to New York, there was like a homeless guy coming in the pizza shop asking for $1 slice of pizza, and I think a lot of people ignored him. But you don't know that. When I see homeless people, you don't know their story. They probably had a family. Something bad might have happened in their life. So I tend to, like you said, see it from that perspective, and help them or say hello or give them some food or something or some money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like you said, you have to be very, very careful what you consume and what you do, because what you focus on, you attract, isn't it? Like if you're going to focus on negative things, you're going to attract negative things and feel that way.
Yeah, exactly. Moreover, you're really feeding the negative things with your energy. You don't want that. So, like really, once you realize that the time and energy has a value, like a huge value, then you are really very careful and very selective what you put your time and energy onto. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like, I'd rather do a podcast like this, talk about good things for an hour or so, than watch the news for half an hour or 45 minutes or
Awesome. So I'm better than the news. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you coming
Thank
on the
you.
podcast, and it's
It was
really great to.
amazing.
No, you're welcome. It's great to connect to you, and I wish you all the best in what you're doing, and we'll definitely stay in touch.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Adam.
No, you're
Pleasure.
welcome.
Take
Take
care.
care. Take
You
care.
too.
One sec.
So did you stop like recording?